League games, and I'm absolutely buzzing because I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I love doing previewing Europa League games just ain't it. It ain't it. You got to do the Champions League. The Champions League is where we belong, and we're back. We're back where we belong, and I'm so happy we're talking about playing PSG, even though it's a difficult game, even though it's not going to be an easy watch, I don't think personally, for Manchester United fans, but I'm so happy that we're back talking about that rather than talking about playing just some random team, some Kazakhstan team from, some farmers, you know what I mean? We're actually playing PSG. We're playing PSG. We're playing in the Champions League. As I said, it's good to be back. It's good to be back in the Champions League. And it's good to be back talking about that as well. A lot of things to talk about, especially after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference this afternoon. A lot of news coming out of that, and we'll get into that in just a second. But before I do that, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Thank you to everyone who has been subscribing recently. Very appreciate all support that you've been giving me, so thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. And as I said, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. But let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into what we heard from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this afternoon. And the biggest news that everyone's been talking about is Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is getting the nod as captain for tomorrow night's game, as Harry Maguire has not travelled with the team due to injury. Now, I think a lot of United fans, from a lot of what I was hearing from United fans when Harry Maguire was made captain and his poor performances, a lot of United fans wanted this. A lot of United fans wanted to see Bruno Fernandes as captain. So what a great test, and what a great test for us to see whether it be good captain material. Playing in the Parc de France, as you say. As you can tell, I'm not a French student. My French was never good. But, in the Champions League, playing one of the best teams in world football, this is going to be our best indicator of whether he's good captain material. A few of you guys have joined. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Welcome Krishna. Thanks for joining. Welcome Footy Live. Thanks for joining. Tom Graham. Thanks for joining. El Capitan. Yeah, I know everyone's a bit gassed about that. I can see. G, thanks for joining Red Devil Studio. Make sure you check out his channel. Just watching his preview for the game. Great stuff. Make sure you do check him out as always if you haven't already. And Daz has joined us. Thanks, Daz. I really appreciate it. It'll be interesting to see how he copes with that pressure. Well, 100%. As I said, this is going to be the best test, the biggest indicator of Bruno's captain qualities. Now, we've seen on the pitch and we've seen from reports of what he's done in the changing room that he does seem to have that. He does seem to have those qualities. So, for me, I think we already know he is captain material. We've seen by the way he leads, not just on the pitch with what he's saying. Excuse me. Not just, what he's saying, but also the way he plays. He leads by the way he plays on the pitch. He sets the tone. And that's why he was so frustrated at that Spurs game, because he felt like he was trying, he was setting the tone, and he felt like he was the only one that was trying. So the fact that he actually, he sets the tone on the pitch, and that's what you want a captain to do. All great captains down the years, Tony Adams, John Terry, these kind of guys, set the tone with their own performance. It's not just about gobbing off to your teammates when they've made a mistake. It's about setting the tone, showing the example, and that is what Bruno Fernandes can bring to the table. So we all wish him good luck, and I'm sure he'll do a good job. But yeah, as you said, Dad, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does cope with that pressure. Thanks, Matthew, for joining. Says McTominay centre-back has to be. Yes, of course. The reason why Bruno Fernandes is being told he's captain for tomorrow's game, has been picked as captain, is, as I said, because Harry Maguire has not travelled, along with Mason Greenwood, who hasn't travelled either. So two players who a lot of people may have been picking in their starting 11 for this game a few days ago, not available, as well as Edinson Cavani, the former PSG player, of course, famously, not going to be able to come back and haunt his old team just yet, maybe in a future Champions League game. But we have to remember, he hasn't played professional football for 6 months. Is he realistically ready for this game? Is he realistically ready for the weekend? Solskjaer said in his press conference that he might look to bring him in for that Chelsea game. And realistically, I don't see him starting in that game. But Is he even ready for that? That is a question. He's only really had 1 or 2 training sessions at Manchester United. So to not play professional football for that long and only come back after a few training sessions, I don't think it's really viable, to be honest with you. And I think it's the right decision to leave him out of this one. But I'm sure he's got a lot to offer, and hopefully he'll get some game time somewhere or another, maybe in the Carabao Cup or other cup competitions, and we can start seeing Cavani's influence on this first team. Tom says, Kieran, I told you about Greenwood, just a fitness problem. He'll be back soon. You did say in a previous stream. Asim, thanks for joining. Asim, Paris 2.0, hope so, man. Really, really hope so. What a win that would be if we could go away to Paris Saint-Germain and win. Again, as I said after the game against Newcastle, is this just one of those periods where Solskjaer's job is on the line and all of a sudden we start performing well? We start, out of nowhere, players that were performing really poorly the last few weeks suddenly come out of the woodwork and start putting in 9 and 10 out of 10 performances. Is this another one of those periods? I certainly hope so, because I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I want him to be in the job. But we'll have to wait and see. If we do beat PSG, maybe it is because no one, again, it's similar to last season, no one gives us a chance in this game. I think if you ask most football fans, they would not give Manchester United a chance in this game. The fact that we got hammered by Spurs, who bottled a 3-0 lead with 10 minutes to go. We just about scraped past Brighton when realistically we shouldn't have. And we lost to Crystal Palace. So we played 4 league games. Yes, we've beaten Luton and Brighton in the Carabao Cup, and they were kind of convincing victories, although they weren't as convincing as you might have hoped. But ultimately, our start to the season has been very, very poor. We've been playing average football. Our defending has been average. So if we do beat PSG, maybe this is a bit of a sign of a resurgence. And hopefully that means a resurgence in the league as well, because we take on Chelsea and Arsenal, 2 top 4 rivals this season. If we can get results against both of those teams, that'll be huge for the rest of the season as well, not just for the next few weeks. Tom says Cavani will be match fit for Chelsea 100%. I hope so, mate. Listen, I hope that the fact that we're paying him whatever we're paying him, like 150 grand a week, something like that. Let me know if I'm getting the numbers wrong. Please do let me know. The fact that you don't want a squad that's in your team with that sort of quality that you can't use because he's not match fit. We need to get him as match fit as quick as possible. And how he does that, whether he plays a few games with the reserves or however they're going to do it, or some training matches, we need him to get to the match fit and quickly, really, because that sort of asset to have in your side. He's not getting any younger. You want to be able to use him, and unfortunately right now we're not being able to use him because he's not match fit. Graham's is hoping Pogba drops a 10 out of 10 on home ground. Yeah, I hope so, mate. I hope so. Really, really do hope so. I mean, I'll give you my predicted lineup in just a minute, and you guys can also have your say in the live chat. But for me, I think that maybe this is a game for Donny van de Beek to start. We haven't seen Donny van de Beek start a game in the league, and obviously it's the first game of the Champions League, so he hasn't really started a game of any sort of magnitude really yet. And when he came on against Newcastle, is there any doubt? Is there any doubt that he's a good player when he came on and we scored 4? We scored 4 when he was on the pitch. Yes, obviously Newcastle, opened up after, we scored the second goal. But Donny van de Beek's influence on a game is always positive. Every time he's come on the pitch, off the bench, he has been a positive influence on this team. So maybe, and just looking at the way Pogba's playing at the moment, maybe this is the time to start Donny van de Beek over Paul Pogba. Let me know your thoughts on that. Ashish, thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Says, love your content, bro. Keep it up. Really appreciate your support, Ashish, and really appreciate everyone's support recently. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing as well. And if you are new and watching this and do like my voice, please do let me know in the live chat, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you don't, please do feel free to dislike and let me know why you didn't like it in the comment section below. I love to hear feedback, and I love to hear what people have to say, and why they feel a certain way, and why they don't like something or why they do like something. So please do let me know in the live chat or the comment section below. Daza says, probably still get beat because I'm still not satisfied with the current defence. And with Harry Maguire out as well, you're looking at, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Tuanzebe. These are sort of guys that really we're looking at in defence, which is a bit of a frightening prospect. I'm not going to lie, when you look at Di Maria, Mbappe and Neymar lining up against you. But one thing, and I'm going to get onto this now actually, another positive potential for Manchester United fans is Alex Telles. We might see Alex Telles in a Manchester United shirt. I'd be surprised if we didn't. I feel like one of the main reasons why Ole didn't pick Alex Telles against Newcastle is because he wasn't fully match fit and he wasn't really, he hadn't really had a chance to adapt to the pace of the Premier League. So maybe bringing Alex Telles into this game is a no-brainer from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and especially because of this. This game, whilst obviously it's significant because you've only got 6 group games to play, it's the first group game. It's the first of 6 group games. If we lose this game, we're still very much in the hunt to qualify for the group. So because we're playing this game first, and I actually think it's a really beneficial thing to play our hardest game on paper first, because A, it means we get that out of the way, and B, it means we can really see where we are as a side, and we can then look at that and base that evidence on our conclusions of where we're going to think we're going to finish in this group. If we get absolutely hammered by PSG, then the likelihood is we're going to struggle to get out of the group. If we put up a decent display, I think we've got a really good chance of getting through. So this is going to be a big indicator of how we're going to do in the Champions League this season, in my opinion. But Alex Telles, for me, I'd love to see Alex Telles on that left-hand side. Not only does he provide an experienced head in that back line, 27 years of age, going to turn 28 this year. Not only does he provide some much-needed experience in that back line, but going forward, he offers us so much. Set pieces, crosses, and also his shooting ability as well. I was really surprised to see some of the goals he scored for Porto. His shooting is absolutely unbelievable. He rockets them into the top corner. Wonderful effort. Absolute wonderful effort. So hopefully we can see a bit of that. And as well, you've got that connection with Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, both play for the... Oh, no, they don't, because he's Brazilian, but they both speak Portuguese anyway. Got that completely wrong. But anyway, Alex Telles, obviously on that left-hand side, is going to provide a lot for us going forward. And I think in terms of the lineup, I'll give my predicted lineup now. Actually, before we do that, actually, I'll just go through the comments. Matthew says Van der Beek over Pogba is a non-negotiable. I have to agree. I would have to agree. Graham says have to play a 5-back line with Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Lindelof, Shaw, and Telles. So Graham's going with McTominay at the back. I'm not sure about that, mate. I'm not sure about that, Graham. Obviously, you're entitled to your opinion, but I would not play McTominay at centre-back. No chance. Absolutely no chance. Imagine him up against, Mbappe. It's just penalties waiting to happen. And Neymar. I keep forgetting about Neymar, but... Dazza says McTominay was awful against Newcastle. If he plays at centre-back, then God help us, he is not a defender. Well, we saw that under Jose Mourinho when we lost 3-1 to West Ham in Jose Mourinho's final season. McTominay was played at centre-back as almost a protest by the fact that he wasn't backed and we didn't get a centre-back. McTominay's not a centre-back by trade. He's one of those players where in a game where, one of your players have got sent off, he could do a job. And I'm sure he's got the passion and the pride to play for Manchester United to do that job to the best of his ability. But realistically, when you're playing the best in the world, you're playing, the best forwards in world football, Scott McTominay as centre-back is just... It's just a no-no. It's just a no-no. And I don't think Ole's going to be that naive to play him as centre-back. But we'll wait and see. As we've always said on this channel, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is probably the hardest manager to predict his starting 11s in the Premier League. So we'll have to wait and see. Welcome, Raymond. Thanks for joining, mate. Always appreciate you coming on. Hi, Kieran. Come on, United. Keep the momentum going. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, hopefully we do keep the momentum going. As I said, if we beat PSG or at least put in a really good performance in Paris, is this a start of another resurgence period under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? And I really hope it is. The vibes, the good vibes, and the fan base is so good when we're playing well and when we're winning games week in, week out. And I just want to have that feeling again. And we had a bit of that feeling against Newcastle where we scored some brilliant goals, and everyone on social media was so happy after the game. And that's why I put in the title. It's just a good feeling. That's all it was to me. It was just such a good feeling to have some positivity back around this club online and people talking positively about it. But hopefully if we do a similar performance against PSG, or at least we're as clinical as we were against Newcastle tomorrow night, we should be fine. We should be fine. We should get a decent result. And for me, even a draw is a very good result in this game. Krishna says, don't forget, man, Palistri young. He will learn game by game. Of course, Palistri is in the squad to play. I'm not sure whether he's going to get a start. Who knows? No, not a start. An appearance off the bench. I don't think he's going to start, especially at 18 years old. But again, another exciting thing, another exciting prospect for Manchester United fans. If we see Palistri come into the team with Telles and, you see Van der Beek as well, we start to really build the new look Manchester United side. So again, another exciting prospect for Man United fans going into this one. Dazza says, I can't lie, I'm not confident at all for this match, even though we thrashed the Geordies 4-1. Well, listen, I think every Man United fan knows that in that first half against Newcastle, we were shocking in that first half, realistically. Both teams were quite poor in that game. I think Newcastle in the end didn't show up. They just did not show up, and I was very kind of puzzled by that. There just didn't seem to be any sort of pressing on the back line. The blueprints that other teams that have beaten us have put out, they just seem to have turned a blind eye to that. They just didn't bother with that. They just thought, you know what, we're just going to sit back, let United come at us, let United have loads of shots. And whilst they did identify the fact that we are much better on the counter-attack than breaking up a low block, at the same time, if you let a team with the quality that we have 28 shots on goal, which is the record for this season, if you let a team with that quality have that many shots, you're going to concede. Your keeper, Carl Darlow saved penalties, he saved a penalty. What more could he have done? He was injured for the last 20 minutes of the game, so your keeper can only save you so many times before one or two go in the back of the net. And yes, we only actually scored the goal, the most important goal in that game, in the 85th minute. So Newcastle did a very good job of defending up until then. But I just think the tactics that I was seeing from Newcastle were, it was just weird. I couldn't believe what they were doing, to be honest. But at the end of the day, we got the result. That's all that matters from a Manchester United fan's point of view. And I think this is going to be a much bigger test. So I agree with you, Daryl. Just because we beat Newcastle, yes, we got a bit of the feel-good factor back, and hopefully that did bring some confidence back to the team. But I would hesitate in saying that because we beat Newcastle 4-1, a poor Newcastle side at that we're going to conquer the world. You know what I mean? So I think you've definitely got your head screwed on them, mate. So I think, yeah, I like that. I like that comment. LSR Premium side, thanks for joining. He says, Mata is a must for me if we want to keep any possession in their half. You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Juan Mata in there. I think what you might see, however, if you put Mata in there, is that you're probably going to have to see... You're going to have to see one of Bruno Fernandes or Donny van der Beek out of the game. And if Mata comes in, then Donny van der Beek's going to have to sit out because, we need some protection of that back line. Yes, you could argue we're playing 5 at the back, and we don't need that central defensive midfielder. But against PSG, we need all the defending that we can get. Trust me, lads, we really, really do. So for me, I feel like if we were to play Juan Mata, I think Donny van der Beek or even Paul Pogba would have to sit out. I don't think you could realistically play that three-man midfield of Van der Beek, Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. Even though going forward, it'd be joyous to watch, we'd just be peppered. And I'm not confident in the weakened defence that we've got that we'd be able to keep it out. A few of you guys joined. Welcome, Big Rom. Thanks for joining, Big Rom. Thanks for your services over the last few years at Manchester United. Hopefully you're doing well. Enter Milan, he says, hello, just found this channel. Looks decent, you've earned a sub. Well, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate all support, as I said. Really do appreciate it, honestly. It makes my day reading comments like that because it feels like, I'm not just talking to myself, I'm talking to you guys, I'm having a good conversation, and even you guys just turning up and, saying your opinion is enough for me. So thank you so much, and I really appreciate that support, mate, and thank you for subscribing. Really do appreciate it. SkepYT21 Ghost says, what happened if Man United win tomorrow and Chelsea lose tomorrow? Wow. I'll tell you what, going into that Chelsea game, it would be very interesting, mate. Really would be interesting. But thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Really, really do appreciate it. And as I said, guys, if you are new around here, please do feel free to leave a like. If you do enjoy the content, you don't have to, of course. And subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Burrito Bruno, thanks for joining. Love the name as well. Says, I was just looking at our schedule, and after PSG, we have Chelsea, then RB Leipzig, then Arsenal, then Başakşehir, and after that, Everton. Yeah, I know, man. I know that it really is. It's a daunting schedule. It really is a daunting schedule. Hold on. Sorry, let's check something there. But yeah, Burrito Bruno, you're absolutely right, mate. 100%, correct. I think the the squad, the fixtures, as we say, the fixtures is just ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and it's going to be a big test for us. It's going to be a big test, but ultimately, we have to face it. And I think in some ways having a stream of difficult games in a row just means that down the line, we'll have another run where we have easy games and other teams will have difficult games. So just because our difficult run is coming now, and I actually think at the start of the season is the best time to have that difficult run, I feel like actually, we will have an easier run of fixtures towards the end of the season at some point. So I'm not too fussed about it, and it's going to be a really, really good test as to where we're at. I'm not sure what you guys think. Let me know what you think of that. Do you think that having a load of fixtures earlier on in the season is a good thing, or do you think that having them more spread out is much more beneficial? Let me know your thoughts. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. Big Ron says, David De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Tuanzebe, Lindelof, Shaw, Telles, Matthews, Van der Beek, Bruno, Martial, Rashford. On form, that's the best and most appropriate team. Listen, for me, I feel like, you look at Van der Beek, I think I'd agree with that team. I think with the way that we're probably going to set up with a 5 at the back, inevitably that's what it's going to be. I think that's probably the team I'd go with. So, you know what? In terms of my predicted team, there it is on the screen right now. There it is, Big Rom. That is beautiful from you to read that, to read my mind right there. I think that is the best team that we could go with, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of people might be saying Paul Pogba, obviously, French, going back to, his roots, going back to France. He wants to put in a good performance, but for me, I think Van der Beek, the impact he's had on the team whenever he's come off the bench, he's earned this start for me. For me, anyway, I feel like he's earned this start. You've got Martial and Rashford up front together. They had a really good partnership last season, especially towards the end of the season as well. So I like to see that. I think that team, for me, it does everything that you want, and I think that's probably, with the players we've got, the best options. Obviously, the only thing I'd say is people would probably say Pogba in for Van der Beek, but I agree with it. I agree with having Van der Beek. I would start Van der Beek tomorrow. I really, really would. Matthew says, may as well play Dan James if you want people who are going to track back rather than have any quality. Well, listen, I'm not sure if anyone saw the picture of Dan James looking like he was going to go on a school trip. That was funny. But look, I mean, maybe Dan James might get a game. Who knows? Solskjaer, does like giving a few debuts to, a few fringe players, especially in the big games like he did last season when we played PSG. But yeah, it's mental for him as well, Dan James, to go from playing for Swansea one season, to then a few years down the line, playing in Paris against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. Mental stuff, absolutely mental. TTX, thanks for joining as well, really appreciate it. It says, our team has defo improved in terms of quality and personnel compared to last time we met PSG. Yeah, you'd hope so. You would definitely hope so. I'm not sure about performance-wise, but definitely in terms of personnel, in terms of the squad, the quality on paper, we should, we should get that. We should play better than we did, but obviously PSG have a different team as well. Ander Herrera, for one, who was on our side last time we beat PSG, is going to be playing against us. They've made some reinforcements as well, so it's going to be an interesting game. I really do think it's going to be an interesting game. Let's see, Barisa Bruno said, do you have anything to say about Van der Beek not starting tomorrow? As I said, I think if Van der Beek doesn't start tomorrow, I'm not going to be too fussed. I'm not going to be like really angry or anything, because it is a difficult decision between him and Paul Pogba. But at the same time, Van der Beek, for me, I think has earned his starting place in the team. I'm not sure what you guys think, but for me, I think the way Van der Beek has played, I really do think he's earned that. He's earned that place in the team. So we'll wait and see what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does, but I feel like he probably will go with Pogba because obviously, Pogba's played more under Solskjaer. He trusts Pogba a lot more. But I would play Van der Beek. I really would play Van der Beek. Al-Azhar, he goes with Henderson in goal. Wow, that's an interesting choice. Telles, Shorter and Zabi Mengi, Wan-Bissaka, Matic, Van der Beek, Pogba, Bruno and Rashford. But yeah, Henderson in goal was a very interesting choice. Very interesting choice indeed. I thought De Gea was brilliant against Newcastle. I don't think he really did anything wrong. Some people, to be fair, said he could have done better with the deflected goal. But actually, it's difficult as a goalkeeper. I've been in goal myself. I'm not a goalkeeper, but I've been in goal myself. And it is difficult. It's much more difficult than you would think if you're an outfield player. Or especially if you're watching it from the stands or watching on TV. It's so much more difficult, especially when it deflects like that. So I think De Gea should be in goal for me. I think De Gea should be in goal. But it would obviously be good experience to see Dean Henderson obviously being in the Champions League. It would be great experience for him. But for me, I don't think it's the right time. But, obviously it's your choice. Matthew says, what's De Gea done wrong? What has he done wrong? Okay, well, you guys have a bit of a chat in the comments there. Devil's Reject, thank you so much for sharing the stream, mate. Really appreciate it. And yeah, really appreciate the support, Devil's Reject. Thank you very much. And if you are new, as I said, if you haven't watched this before, please do feel free to leave your thoughts in the live chat. We're a nice community. No one's going to get annoyed at you for putting in any deluded opinions. And anyway, I don't think there's anything that is deluded, to be honest. I mean, there's some things, but no one's deluded. I come across as deluded a lot of the time, so don't worry about that. So feel free to let me know what you think about anything I say, even if it's negative, even if you don't agree with me. Big Rom says, Dan James is a big game player. City at home, away, and Chelsea away are games where he turned up. He's very effective if we're going to sit back and counter. He's ineffective against a low block. I agree. And he has seemed to turn up in those big games. And actually against Newcastle, I thought he was decent. I thought he was actually quite good. So I've got to give him props. A lot of people have been giving him stick for the fact he's not performing well whatsoever, and he wasn't. I don't think he was, and I think the criticism is somewhat fair. I do also think the fact that he's been thrusted into the first team when realistically he was supposed to be a slow-blooded squad player is a bit unfair on him. But at the same time, there are certain standards that you need to uphold when playing for Manchester United. But at the same time, Dan James, for me, I don't think we'll see him start in this game, but at the same time, I think Dan James as a bench option, especially when we're looking to counter-attack late on in the game, I don't think it's the worst option. And I'd be so happy for him to see him playing in the Champions League. That's going to be one of his dreams coming true right there, playing for Manchester United in the Champions League. It's what dreams are made of, it really is. So I hope to see Daniel James in the team at some point. So, yeah, I think, look, Daniel James for me did well against Newcastle, so it'll be interesting to see whether Solskjaer uses him. Although I do think that Big Ron's lineup early on of De Gea in goal, I'll get up again. This is going to be my predicted lineup, and then I'll get into my predictions and we'll probably end it there. What did you say? Sorry, I need to get your lineup up again, mate, because you had it perfect. Here it is. So yeah, here's my predicted lineup. Obviously, Big Ron read my mind completely there. De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Tuanzebe, Lindelof, Shaw, Telles, Matic, Van der Beek, Bruno, Martial, and Rashford. That is my predicted lineup for the game. That is my kind of most wanted lineup in this game. So I think especially Alex Telles coming in there, that provides a lot of excitement for Manchester United fans. You look at Martial and Rashford up front with Bruno and Van der Beek in behind. A lot of chances are potentially made there, especially with the fact that PSG are going to be without Marquinhos. They sold Thiago Silva in the summer. Their defence isn't going to be as good as it was when we first played them. And we managed to score 3 goals over 2 games against them last time. So I'm excited with the prospect of Martial Rashford. I think Martial definitely has got a big point to prove with Cavani coming into the team, and the fact that Rashford actually played quite well against Newcastle. So, I think Martial's going to come with a point to prove. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is in decent form in terms of his numbers. It's just the defence that worries me slightly. Hopefully we can hold firm. But I think for me, a draw in this game, even a draw, is a good result. To go to Paris and come back with a point is a massive result for us in terms of the group, because that means we get through our hardest game without losing. Burrito Bruno, so do you agree with the captaincy choice. I don't think there's anyone else you could have gone to be honest. As I said, a lot of people, when Harry Maguire was banged up in prison and people saying that his captaincy was going to get taken away, most people are making the shout of Bruno Fernandes for captain. So for me, I feel like a lot of people are welcoming this announcement from Solskjaer. I mean, you saw in the press conference, even Bruno Fernandes hadn't been told that he was captain, but that was quite a nice moment. For me, Bruno Fernandes is the obvious choice when Maguire's not captain. I think he has that captaincy material to him, but this is going to be a big test. This is going to be where we really see whether he has the ability to be Manchester United captain, because this is the biggest test of most of those players in a Manchester United shirt going away to Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. I want to see what Bruno can do, and hopefully that captain's armband doesn't weigh him down too much, because being the captain of Manchester United is always a big responsibility, and it seems to have affected Harry Maguire a little bit, and hopefully it doesn't affect Bruno Fernandes. But if he's only an interim captain, then it shouldn't be too bad anyway. Marquinhos, I think, is injured. He's injured, of what I heard from some kind of sources, some people on YouTube, and also from Thomas Tuchel as well in his press conference. I think Marquinhos isn't going to be fit for the game, which again, means that PSG don't have the players. I mean, Tuchel said in his press conference they've only really got 13 fit players for the game. So the rest of their bench probably is going to be filled with academy players and young players. So that bodes well for us. Obviously, you don't like seeing people being in harm, but at the same time, the fact that they're going to have a depleted squad, and the fact that Mbappe and Neymar played quite recently, and their whole team played quite recently, does bode well for us in a way. It definitely does bode well for us, the fact that they might be a bit more tired and they might not have as many options. So again, the result's all that matters, and if that that factor could play a massive role in this game. Big Rom says the only time we've seen Bruno and Van der Beek play together was a Newcastle game away. Donny came on at 1-1 at the 85th minute, and we ended up winning 4-1. That shows they're already creating a bond. I think as well, another player that Donny Van der Beek has a great bond with is Juan Mata. We've seen that in the Carabao Cup games. Those two were linking up so nicely. And even Donny Van der Beek came out after the Brighton game and said Juan Mata is a dream to play against because he gets into those pockets of space. And Van der Beek does the same thing for Mata. So both of them can play off each other really well in that respect and create chances. So that's why we might see Juan Mata in this game as well. He's got an experienced head and he's on great form at the moment. He's looked really good against Newcastle. So we might see Mata in there. It's going to be the debate between Pogba, Van der Beek and Mata for me. I think Bruno Fernandes has got his place. I think Matic has got his place as well. It's that last central midfielder spot. But I'm going to give my score prediction now and then we'll leave it there. If you are watching, make sure to give your score prediction right now. I want to see what you guys are saying going into this game. I think all of us think it's going to be a tough game, but I like to see what you guys are saying about confidence. Welcome, Rashid. Thanks for joining, Rashid. Really appreciate it. We're just getting into the score predictions right now, mate. We're just getting into it. Perfect timing with your comment. What is your score? I'm going to leave that up there, actually. What is your score prediction? Let me know your score predictions right now. For me, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw in Paris for Manchester United. I don't think we're going to have enough to break PSG's breach PSG's defence multiple times, but I do think we'll score. I think with the quality we've got going forward, I would be surprised if we don't score, especially with the fact that Tuchel has come out and said that his squad is really depleted. Obviously, Marquinhos is out injured as well, and he's a big player in their back line. So I'd be surprised if we don't score at least one. I do think that PSG are going to come out raring to go as well, especially against our back line with Harry Maguire out. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how we defend. But I just think a 1-1 draw for Manchester United. I usually predict wins. I usually do predict victories. But today, I'm going to be real. I'm going to predict a draw. I'm not going to be tempted into predicting a win. But the result is all that matters, honestly. It doesn't matter whether it's a 1-0 win in the 95th minute or even when the game's ended and we get another penalty. Anything like that, it'll do me. The result is all that matters. And a draw for me would be a great result. To go to Paris and get a draw with the way we're playing in the first group game as well. I'll be very satisfied with that. But let's see what you guys are saying. Worldwide Red Show, Sean, thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Make sure you do check out his channel. Great stuff on there. If you haven't already, make sure you do check out the Worldwide Red Show. Because I have a feeling it'll be Pogba because of the sentimental value. Just saying. Yeah, true. I think, obviously, that's the debate we've been talking about, whether it's going to be Van de Beek, Pogba, or Juan Mata even, and it could be Pogba. It could 100% be Pogba because of that French connection as well. You know, going back to his home country, going back to his home city as well. I think he was born in Paris, so could definitely be, could be. And also, you probably argue that with a few of the French players that are in the PSG squad, Pogba might know them a bit better than the other midfielders know them. So maybe that could be another factor. We'll see. Big Ron goes with a 1-1 draw. Burrito Bruno goes with a 2-1 win to Manchester United. I like that. Sean does as well. 2-1 United. If there's one thing we can do, is play on the counter. And I think that is it's spot on, to be fair. I do think that if they do allow us to counter-attack, they're stupid. Because have you not watched the game of Manchester United in the last 2 seasons? But hopefully they do. Hopefully they haven't watched the footage. Hopefully the footage has been corrupted somewhere and they haven't been able to watch us play for the last few seasons. But if they do let us counter-attack, I think we'll have a lot of joy. We will have a lot of joy, especially with Tellez on the pitch. You've got Bruno Fernandes there, Rashford and Martial running in the channels with pace. We will get a lot of joy. But we'll see what Tuchel does. I don't think he'll be that naive, but I hope he is. I hope he is that naive, but I'm not sure. Krishna reckons we'll win tomorrow. Love the spirit, Krishna. Love the spirit. LSR Predicting Stars goes with 2-1. 2-1 to United is actually a very popular scoreline right now. Very, very popular. Rashi goes with a 3-1 United. He's going even bigger. Even bigger. A 3-1 victory. What a statement that would send as well. If we could go to Paris and win 3-1, the feel-good factor around Manchester United would be absolutely sensational. So I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. LSR Predicting Stars goes with Rashford and Pogba popping up with the 2 goals. I could see Pogba, maybe Pogba comes back to France and scores. I'd love that story. And obviously Rashford as well. You've got Martial coming back to France as well, playing Paris Saint-Germain. Matthew says, you guys have got a lot more faith in me. Yeah, I know. Listen, I mean, I was kind of not expecting people to be this positive, but I can see where you're coming from. I think, especially when the comment that Sean mentioned, which was, if they do let us counter-attack, I think we will have a lot of joy going forward. I think it's just defensively that we might struggle, especially with Harry Maguire out. Yes, he's not having the best of time at the moment, but he is a leader. He is somewhat of a leader, so maybe that might cause a bit of confusion, but I hope it doesn't, and hopefully we can get it done and just keep a clean sheet. If we keep a clean sheet, that would be huge. That would be so huge. Not only for the Champions League and what that means for the group, but the confidence amongst the defenders to keep a clean sheet against Mbappe, Neymar and Di Maria. It means so much. So hopefully we can do that. But again, that's a bit more of a hope, really, because I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. But you never know. You really do never know. Sean says, a Worldwide Red Show says they aren't watching anything but in that last handball in Paris and Rashi's pen. It's just been playing on their mind since then. Honestly, I mean, it seems like it's rent-free in Mbappe's head. I mean, you see the way Rashford just tapped him on the back of the head, says, you'll get us next time, mate, you'll get us next time. Unlucky. But yeah, I mean, if we can get something else, if we can get another night like that, boy, we're in for a good one. We really, really are. LSR Freeman says, you said we'd get battered by Newcastle and you're a mod, lol. Oh, right. Oh, sorry, not talking to me. I thought you were talking to me. But I thought we wouldn't win against Newcastle, but we ended up doing it. So maybe if I just say we're going to lose every game, we'll actually come out with the right result. Maybe that's the way to go. Burrito Bruno, again, I said, love the name, mate. He says, the confidence from Newcastle will will come into this fixture. So I'm actually predicting 2-0 United. 2 goals and a clean sheet, that'll do me very, very nicely. I hope you're right. I love the positivity. As I said, I wish I could have that. I wish I could have that positivity. I mean, even after the Newcastle game, you've got to be positive, but at the same time, the fact it took us 85 minutes to win that game when Newcastle weren't playing well at all, it does worry me a little bit. But hopefully, the fact that we did win the game and the fact that we were so clinical towards the end gave the team confidence. Hopefully it did. LSR Preens Live says, yeah, look out for our over-exuberant celebration from PSG because they're butthurt. Maybe. I think from Di Maria especially. Di Maria, if he wins, will absolutely love it on social media. Absolutely love it. Sean says, Rashid did son Mbappe that night. The pat on the head hasn't worked well for us in the past after Oli patted Jose. Yeah, didn't go down well in the end. A 6-1 battering that ended up. It's kind of like how it started, how it ended. That one didn't end very well for us. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't end the same way with Mbappe schooling us and scoring a hat-trick. But yeah, hopefully I don't tempt fate there. But yeah, listen, I mean, if most of you guys are going with a win, most of you guys are seemingly going with a win. So it seems like the kind of the most popular prediction is a 2-1 victory to Manchester United, and I'll take that all day long. So yeah, hopefully we get the job done. I just want to say as well, thank you so much to everyone who is watching. I can see we've got like 15 people watching, which is actually pretty mental. I don't usually have that sort of number of people watching, so I really appreciate everyone who's taking time out of their night to watch me, or even day, depending on where you are in the world, to watch this stream and to give your thoughts. So thank you so much, really do appreciate it. Make sure to check out all the channels that I shouted out as well on the stream. Worldwide Red Show, Red Devil Studio as well. Make sure to check all of those guys out if you haven't already. Great United content. But I'm going to read the last few comments. So if you've got any last comments, I'm going to read them, and then we'll leave it there for tonight. A bit of a back and forth going on in the comments. I love that. Big Rom says the one thing about Newcastle game is the pattern of play and the intensity that we were playing it. It was just wasteful finishing that made us not score more than one before the 85th minute. I mean, to be honest, I think that, ultimately Newcastle didn't play well in that game. They really didn't play well. We could have, been 2 or 3-1 up in the first half if we took our chances. I mean, Bruno Fernandes had a goal offside, so we should have really gone in, 2-1 up. But in the same vein, we got the job done in the end. And in this game, it's all about getting the job done, especially in knockout football. So it's all about just getting the win. Sean said he's coaching. The dedication. Thank you very much for watching, mate. Really appreciate it. And hopefully, your team's doing well. Hopefully they're doing well. I'm sure they are. They've got you as a manager. The masterful tactician that you are. I'm sure they're top of the table. Bruno says there's only one way to put it when it comes to owners. Rubbish. I think that sums it up, mate. I think it sums it up. It goes without saying. Glazers out. Woodward out. It goes without saying. Goes without saying, really. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to end it there. Really appreciate it. It's been a great stream tonight. Thank you so much for all of your support. As I said, please do leave a like if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. And I'll see you after the PSG game, hopefully with a smile on my face. Hopefully everyone is going to be happy, and the feel-good factor will be back at Old Trafford once again, and we start to see the resurgence of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. Hopefully that comes to fruition. We'll see what happens, but thank you for watching anyway. Really appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys all hopefully in the next one.